Hey guys, it's nice to see you again. Welcome back to this video. So if you're joining me from the previous video where we were talking about how you can move from anxious attachment to secure attachment, you're very welcome. This is an embodiment ritual of whatever we discussed in the previous video. And if you're not here for that, probably you're here for the tutorial on how to make the front tie top. Still okay, you can stay here with me. Just make sure you use the timestamps to skip the ritual part and just do the tutorial parts of the video. But if you're here for the full ritual of embodying confidence and being a securely attached person, this is the video for you. Follow the whole video and get the best out of it. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you like healing, you're probably on a healing journey, or you're learning how to crochet, this is a very perfect channel for you. Please consider subscribing. I have a lot to share with you guys, and I hope that we build something together. So without further ado, let's just get into the first parts of the video. Just like the back panel forms the foundation of our wrap top, building inner security also starts with a strong and stable foundation. This is the first step in creating something beautiful and secure. If I put this simply, it means every time you're starting to build something, you have to start with the foundation. And the back panel of this top is going to act as the foundation of you building inner security within yourself. So basically, when you're learning to crochet, you will find out that when you're just beginning, it's hard even to complete projects. That could be you, probably, if you're healing or on a healing journey. And what I want you to remember as you make the back panel is you can trust yourself to begin. Trust yourself to start this project and imagine yourself going to the end of the project. Remember that it doesn't matter if you start, and if you don't finish the project, it won't really matter. So set a very good foundation for that and do this from your heart. That's how you're going to embody this. Do it from your heart and do this with, a vision of you being whole again, a vision of you feeling secure and within yourself again. So that is going to be the first part. So the first instruction is you're going to take your bust measurement. So in my case, my bust measurement is 34 inches. So after you get your bust measurement, whatever value you have, divide that by 2. 34 in my case, divide by 2, I get 17 inches. So with this 17 inches that you have your bust measurement, you're going to make a foundation chain of that length. So you start by a slip knot. So you're going to make enough chains to give you 17 inches. So you measure, you just want to make this as loose as possible. That's 17 inches. So after you have your foundation chain, we are going to begin the first row. So you're going to chain 1, and in the second chain from the hook, which is this one, you make a double crochet, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through, and then the next stitch, you're going to proceed by making a row of double crochets all the way across to the last point. So after you complete the first row, you're going to proceed by adding other rows of double crochets for as many rows as you can. And so you're going to proceed with the rows until this is from your shoulder and until your under bust. So if you place this on your shoulder, beginning here, the resulting length will end on your under bust, right on the other side. So on total from this, my work, this is a total of 42 rows. That is giving me that, and if I measure it, in my case it's like 14 inches. So that marks the end of the first panel. So do that, and I'm going to meet you next for the front panels. As we make the two front panels and then join them to the back, we see how different parts come together to create a whole. This mirrors how we integrate different aspects of ourselves, bringing us closer to inner security and harmony. So as a person, you don't exist as a singular entity. You have different parts of you. And if you're into psychology, you can read more about that in a concept called internal family systems. It just shows you that inside you there are different aspects of yourself. All these parts of you are different aspects of you, but they still make who you are. Let the front panel remind you that you are not a singular entity. You have multiple parts that sometimes when all of them want different things, you're kind of in a contraction, and harmonizing that or integrating all these aspects of yourself is what brings you closer to inner security. You're going to begin by chaining a long chain of around 150. So this is a total of 150 chains. Remember, you're doing this very intentionally. Do not rush, just take your time, okay? So the next thing, after making the 150 chains, we are going to do a row of single crochets to chain one, and then inside the next inside the next chain, make a single crochet. The next one a single crochet, single crochet. The next one, single crochet. And the next one, a single crochet. So for this row, you're going to make single crochets all the way until the last point. I'm going to meet you there. So this is after you've gone placed one single crochet in each chain all the way across. That's how it looks like. So you're going to do the second row, which is chain one, and then turn your work like this. And in this very first space, the first one, this one, insert your hook and then pull up a loop and make a single crochet. So that's the first single crochet. In the next space, make another single crochet. In the next one, another single crochet. In the next one, another one. This is what you have. So since you're going to be making two front panels, it means that they are going to be both identical, yes? So this is the first one that we are making. You're going to get your measurement, so your bust measurement. In my case, my bust measurement is 34 inches. And then once you have your bust measurement, divide that by 2 and in my case that is 17 inches. So this 17 inches, it's going to be the back, and the next 17 inches measurement is going to be for the front panels. So it means you're going to divide again 17 inches, which is for the front panels, by 2, so you can have measurement for each front panel. And when you divide 17 inches by 2, in my case, you get around 8.5 inches. So it means each of these 2 front panels is going to be 8.5 inches. So depending on your measurements, you're going to follow the same instructions, so to get the front panels right. So it means with this front panel of ours, one of them is going to be measuring around 8.5 inches. So you're just going to place your work on a flat surface like this, and you're going to get your measuring tape, and you're going to use your measuring tape here to measure 8.5 inches. So my 8.5 inches around this place. Remember, you don't have to stretch your work, you just need to place it over this and make sure it's not so tight and not so loose. So just right here is giving me 8.5 inches. So my 8.5 inches is going to be somewhere here. When I use one to mark this space, which is here, and that is marked. To make your work easier when you're making the next panel, you're just going to count the number of stitches that you have until where you have your stitch marker. So in my case, if I count all of this stitches, each stitch, I'm going to have 45 stitches to this place, which is half my the measurement of one of my front panels. So this is 45 inches. So you just want to 45 stitches, I mean. So you do want to note that, so that when you're making the next panel, instead of doing the measurements all over again, you can just work with the stitches identical to the one you have here. So from here, chain 1, turn your work. So in this next third row, what you're going to be doing is we're starting to work with double crochets. So yarn over, and in the very first stitch, which is this one, make a double crochet, pull up a loop, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through 1. So that is a double crochet. In the next one too, make a double crochet, pull through 2, pull through all, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, pull through 2, pull through all, and then proceed so you're going to proceed like this on each, placing 1 double crochet on top of each single crochet of the previous row until you have like 5 stitches left before your stitch marker. I'll tell you why we're leaving the 5 stitches out when you get there. And you have 5 stitches left, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, the last one where the stitch marker is. So this is just going to be a space left for, because this is a wrap top kind of, so some space left here is going to be good for your adjustment. So after that, you just take off your stitch marker. So on the next row, so this is the inside our work, and this is going to be outside our work. So this is going, in this section, we're going to maintain a straight line. I'm going to show you. So the part where you have this string is going to be your inside part. So it's the part that you're going to be reducing, as you can see on this one. And this other side is going to remain on a straight line, as you can see. So this is the outer part, the one that is going to connect to the sleeves, and then this is the inner part, the one that you're trying, you know, you're getting the front tie. So we're going to start reducing immediately from here. So in the next row, you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. So in the very first yarn over, and in the very first stitch, which is this one, make a double crochet. And this is how we're going to be doing our reductions. So in the next chains, the next double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops left on your hook. Pull through the first 2 loops. You have 2 loops left on your hook. And in this case, when we're reducing, you don't finish up this loop, you leave it like that, and then you yarn over. You have now 3 loops on your hook. You insert your hook in the next double crochet, pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Now in these 4 loops, you're going to pull through the first 2. So you have 3 loops left on your hook, and then pull through the next 2. So that's how you reduce your work. Remember that when you're reducing, the very first stitch always has to be a double crochet, and then you do the reduction on the next 2 stitches. I'll show you in the next one as well for now. And then you proceed with placing 1 double crochet in each double crochet all the way to the last one. So as you do this, remember to do this with presence, and remember the intention is not just making this top, but it's also about you anchoring yourself into a space where you're secure within yourself. So you're just going to keep up this one until the very last stitch. So when you get to the end, that is it. So the next row, chain 1, turn your work. So in the previous row we reduced here. Remember, we're only doing the reduction in the inside. This other part is remaining constant. So you're going to chain 1 and turn your work, and then in the very first stitch make a double crochet, a double crochet in the next. So what I meant to say is, in this row we maintain, we don't decrease. So that's the pattern we're going to be doing for now. If the previous row was a reduction, the next row is going to be a normal row without any reduction. So in this case, our third row of double crochet is going to be a row of plain double crochets without a decrease in here, because we had done a decrease in the previous row. So it means you're going to proceed this with double crochets until the very last stitch here. When you almost get into this point, you place 1 double crochet in the next double crochet, and then now this is the place that this is the 2 double crochets that you had decreased, which means you're joining them together. So you are joining them together. So yarn over, and inside here make a double crochet, so the 2 became 1. So and then the very last double crochet you place 1 double crochet. So that's how you complete a plain row without a decrease. So the next one, since this one was a plain row, the next one is going to be a decrease. So chain 1, turn your work, and in the very first stitch make a double crochet, and then you're doing a reduction in the next 2 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull through, pull a loop, pull up a loop, and then pull through 2. You have 2 loops left. Since you're decreasing, you don't need to complete this loop, you can leave it like that, and then yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch, pull up a loop. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. pull through the first 2 and then pull another loop through the last 3 loops. So you've done your reduction, and then proceed with the rests. Proceed by making 1 double crochet in each double crochet all the way across. So after this row, for the next rows until like your 10th row, you're going to proceed with the same pattern. So a row of decrease, and then a plain row, a row of decrease, and then a plain row until your 10th row. So I'm gonna meet you after that and show you how to proceed from there. So in row 11, the only different thing that you're going to do, you're still going to keep decreasing like you've been doing previously, but instead when adding the plain rows, instead of 1, you're going to add 2 plain rows. So it's still going to be 1 row of decrease and then 2 rows of plain double crochets. So let's do that. So row number 9 was a plain row, and then row number 10 was a row of decrease. So row number 11 is going to be a plain row. Let's just do that. It's the last row. So that's a row of plain double crochets. So the next row also, you're going to make it a row of plain double crochets. So instead of a decrease here, you're going to place another row of plain double crochet so that you can be able to decrease in the next row. So that is 2 rows of plain double crochets. So the next row is going to be a row of decrease. So for this row, let's do the decrease. So when you have 3 stitches left here, since it's a row of decrease, yarn over. In the next stitch, pull up a loop, 3 loops, pull through 2, you have 2 remaining, yarn over. In the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull 3, 2, you have 3 loops remaining, pull through all. So that is your reduction. And then lastly, in the very last stitch, make a double crochet. So that is the pattern that you're going to proceed on from here until you get to the same equivalent number of rows you had on your back panel. So you're going to proceed with this the pattern now: 1 row of decrease, and then the next 2 rows of plain double crochets, a row of decrease, and then a row of 2 plain double crochets until you get to an equivalent height to the back panel. So it's going to look like this. So do that. I'm going to meet you when you have the 2 front panels. So you're going to join the front part of the shoulder to the back part, both on this side and this side as well. And then you're going to leave some space for the armhole, and then the rest you're going to join lastly on this part. So you're going to measure this to 7 inches. Use a stitch marker to So from here you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you make sure that this part with the strap is on the inside. Adding the sleeves is like embracing our full selves, the cherry on top. Embracing all parts of ourselves brings confidence and protection. Now, when you're adding the sleeves, what you're going to be remembering in this sense is that embracing all these parts of you is what brings confidence and protection. You're not going to have confidence if you hate some parts of yourself, even if they are the parts that you don't like, you know, which is basically your shadow. Your shadow is composed of all the things that you don't like about yourself, and so probably you suppress them, you hide them, you don't want them to be seen, you know. Those parts of you still deserve love because they still make the whole all you. So when you're adding the sleeves, let that remind you of the importance of embracing the full you, embracing all aspects of yourself, the dark, the beautiful, the bad, the condemned. All these aspects of yourself make you. So when you embrace all these aspects of yourself and you accept them for what they are, that's how you start building inner confidence. Confidence is not built by shunning or disregarding parts of you that you don't like. Confidence is gained by embracing all these parts, even if you don't like them, embracing your quirks, embracing your imperfections, embracing all the parts of you that you deem not acceptable or not good enough, or any other story that you have about these parts. It's just integrating that. So after that, the next step is going to be adding the sleeves and then adding the ruffles on the sleeves. As you can see, I've already done this on one of my sleeves, so I'm going to show you the process on the other side of the sleeve, and then you can be able to repeat that on your next sleeve. Yeah, so you're going to get your yarn and make a slip knot. So you get your outfit. You're going to attach your yarn here at the armpit area. You're going to attach your yarn right here, like this. So in the next double crochet space, you make 2 single crochets. In the next double crochet space, which is here, make 2 single crochets. In the next one as well, make 2 single crochets. And another 2 single crochets. So in each of these double crochet spaces, you're going to make 2 single crochets all the way across. So once you get to the end where you started here, you're just going to slip stitch in the very same first single crochet that you made, like that. Going on to the next row, chain 1, and in the very same stitch here, make a double crochet, and then make a double crochet in each single crochet all the way across. So when you get to the end of this, you're just going to slip stitch on top of this very first chain, like that. So the next step is just going to be, you're going to make rows of double crochet, the same as this row, up until you get the length of the sleeve that you want. So in my case, I'm going to make around 15 rows of double crochets, and that will be enough for the length of the sleeve that I need, which is not it's a short sleeve, before we add the ruffles. So you go on ahead and make the number, enough rows that is desirable to the length that you need or you require, and then come back and let's proceed to add the ruffles. So that for me is going to be 15 rows including this one. So I'll meet you when I have the 15 rows so we can go on to the next step, which is adding the ruffles. We are going to proceed to the next step. So start by a slip knot. So the next step is making the ruffles like we have on this other side. So we are going to make the ruffles on this part. So we're just where you left off at this point. Attach your yarn after you make a slip knot here. And then you're going to chain 3. So in the very same space, make a double crochet. In the next stitch, make a double crochet, and in the very same stitch, make another double crochet. In the next one, a double crochet, and another double crochet in the very same stitch. So you're going to proceed by making two double crochets in each stitch all the way across. 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way. So this is how your work looks like. So as you can see, the ruffles have started to form, but we need more ruffles. So if we need more ruffles, it means that in the next row we are going to keep increasing so that we get enough ruffles as we need. So the next row you're going to chain 3, 2 and 3, and then in the very same stitch you're going to make a double crochet. In the next stitch you make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. In the next stitch you'll make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. In the next one as well. You're going to make 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way across. I'm gonna meet you when you're done with that. After the second row, that's how the ruffles look like. So for the third row as well, we're going to keep increasing. Third row, which is also the last row. So chain 3. In the very same stitch, make a double crochet. In the next stitch, make 2 double crochets. In the next stitch, make 2 double crochets. In the next one, 2 double crochets. Go on with this, and I'm gonna meet you at the end of this row. So this is what we have after the 3 rows of ruffles, where in each row we were increasing by making 2 double crochets in each stitch. So you're gonna do that on the other sleeve as well, so you can have 2 identical ones. And on the base of your top you're going to do 1 row of ruffles. So it means that in each stitch you're going to make 2 double crochets all the way across, beginning from this point to this point. So that is going to be the base of your top. So the last thing that we're going to be doing now is we're going to be working on this area. Yeah, in life, aging reflects the sacred pause after a season of becoming. When you look back at your journey, not to change anything, but to honor it. Aging is where wholeness meets beauty. It reminds us that completion is in the end. It's the beginning of living in what you've become. You're now all, and you're able to be free, to be able to be complete within yourself, and to be able to start living actually. So now you can start playing with different colors, you can start playing with different things that you like. Yeah, attach your yarn here. So after that, chain 1, and then the next one make a single crochet, and in the very same space make another single crochet. So in the next double crochet space make 2 single crochets, and then 2 single crochets in the next double crochet space. Two single crochets in the next one, and in the next one. I'm going to proceed with placing 2 single crochets in each double crochet space until you get to this point. I'm going to meet you there so you can proceed to this other side. So when you get to this point, now on the other side here, the neck area, you're going to place 1 single crochet in each stitch. So you're going to proceed with that until this point, and then once you get to this point, on the other side as well, you're going to continue with, like you're doing on this side, 2 single crochets in each double crochet space. So do that, and I'm going to meet you when you get down here so I can show you the next thing to do. So far this is how your work looks like. So this is just something you could add. So if you get to this point and you try on your top and you find out that probably the cleavage is too big for you, this is the best place to add a few more rows. You can just turn your work and add a few more rows here so that you get that kind of cleavage that you want. But as for me, this was totally perfect for me after fitting it in, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So the last thing that we're going to do is just to do some edging here to make this top look more aesthetically pleasing, and then that's how we're going to finish the tutorial. So let's do the last part. So for this part, I'm going to use this color. Attach your yarn. So you're going to attach your yarn at this point. So after that, chain 3, and then in the very same space, you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets. You're going to skip 2 double crochets, not 3. You're going to skip 1, 2 double crochet. On the third single crochet, you're going to slip stitch like that. After you slip stitch, chain 3, 2 and 3, and in this very same space make 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 2 single crochets, 1 2, the third one slip stitch, and then chain 3, make 6 double crochets in the very same space, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2, the third one slip stitch. So this is how you're going to proceed with your work all the way across, even here, and then you turn to the other side. I'm gonna meet you when you're done with the same process. Yeah, and actually this is what marks the end of our work. So the next thing you're gonna do is just make sure you weave in your ends properly, and yeah, that will be the end of your of the top. So if you want to make the skirt with me, the wrap skirt, there'll be a tutorial for that as well. Make sure you check it out next. And I hope you enjoyed making this with me like I did, and I hope this suit fits and suits you well. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you, my dear friend. So I'm gonna see you in the next one, but for now,